Welcome to another test at Nordschleife, and today AC EVO again with the Audi RS6. Everything standard, the supercar tyres and 30 litres of fuel. TC is off. So I've done a few laps in this car already, and I'm finding this one difficult to get used to. Still not really fully understood it. I'll talk about this a little bit during the lap. 600 brake horsepower and 2 tons, a little bit over 2 tons I think. So it's a big, heavy car, and kind of does what you'd expect. Cold tyres, cold brakes. Can't really judge it yet with the cold tyres. Flat down there, no TC, it didn't move. It's trailing in slightly there. There's a temptation with cars that you feel are going to understeer to turn in early. Dealt with Hatzenback really well. So it's using a lot of brakes to turn it in. It does seem to need that. It is all-wheel drive, of course. I think that's one of the keys to why I haven't fully got to grips with this car yet. I don't drive a lot of cars that power the front wheels as well as the rears. There's a definite skill and technique to doing that. Just wary of the understeer. There's more speed, a lot more speed there. There's a little bit of lateral movement on braking still. It's amazing how quickly you can get back on the power and how hard you can be on the power. Corner exit again. By virtue of just the amount of traction this thing has. It's nice. It's about as fast as you'd want to go in there, I suspect. Quite the right line here. Feels like it wants you to use the brakes to tuck it in, and then if you've got enough of an angle, you can power it out. Otherwise it's going to wash out to the front. Or perhaps you should just blend in the throttle and not slide it, but I prefer sliding cars, to be honest. That's where the fun is for me. Okay, flat on exit again. A little bit of movement, but nothing really to speak of. That wasn't the right line. I was happy with it. Miss hit miss. I'm using the brakes a lot to get the nose in. Still running wide. That front left, it's getting very hot. Flat. It's just taking full throttle there. I'm even like double checking to make sure TC is off. It's got that much grip. A little bit of movement there. I want to make it slide. I want to see it going sideways. I think I'm just going to need to be really aggressive with it. I have a feeling it's going to be an almost journalistic flick of the steering, and potentially quite a bit of brake. Got to unsettle it and then get back on the power. I think with the right technique, this car would be a lot of fun. Just haven't found that technique yet. gets more speed through mid-curve, definitely. Even though it's a fast corner and a heavy car. Okay, let's bring in a bit of power here. So, lower speed with lots of power. You can make it play a little bit. But I want a bit more than that. I want to see some nice transitions from it. But I'm still cautious. I'm still a little bit concerned about that mass. I feel like it's kind of holding me back. Maybe once I know the car better, I'll just have a bit more confidence in it. It's an incredibly safe car to drive it at quite a fast pace. There we go. You've just got to be so aggressive. So I will reiterate, this isn't a fast way to drive it. It's just what I like to do. Okay, so turned in on the brakes. Got it sliding. Bit of a lift and then onto the power high, and that's what maintains the slide. So that seems to be the key. There's a lot of curve there. That was too low a gear. A bit surprised it changed down actually. Okay, being perhaps slightly over aggressive in that transition. I'm wary of this one. As Apex comes out to meet you. Flat down on exit. That left front's hot again. And the final corner. Oh, I just want to get the power down and just know if I do that it's going to wash out. So what's the time? 7:10, and there's loads left. Absolutely loads left. Okay, so this was a really interesting one. It's not the kind of car I usually drive on simulations. I remember when I saw this listed on one of the Kunos Facebook posts, I thought, yeah, I probably won't be driving that very much. Having said that, I saw it in the multiplayer servers, and it was really quick. It was pushing me. I can't remember what I was in, but I was being pushed by one of these, and I thought, yeah, I better try this car. It is pretty much what I expected for a 2-ton, 600 brake horsepower estate car. Very impressive. Starting with the engineered gearbox, it pulls like a train. It really does. No complaints there. Gearbox is great, well spaced. Paddle shift, so everything's really easy. Rev matching is great. Doesn't destabilise using the down changes. Brakes are great as well, as you'd expect. They can't defy the laws of physics, but it's with the ABS system working hard. There's a bit of lateral movement, but it's absolutely fine. The car sticks really well. There's no real aero on this car, so I don't really need to talk about that. What about the handling though? That's the really interesting part. And I found this a really challenging car to drive. Now I'm not sure if that's because I don't drive four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive cars very often. I know there's a difference between those two, I can't remember what it is. But I've not got the hang of this car. Now I like cars to move around underneath me, I like them to turn in quite keenly. This car turns in really well on the brakes, and you can feel that wing shifting forward, and it sticks down, and it will turn in nicely. It doesn't have the delicacy of a lighter car, but you can't expect that. If you're gonna blame anyone for that, you should blame Isaac Newton. It does. I think it does great. So actually, at this point in the replay, you'll see a little bit of power oversteer. Just testing the car, trying what it trying to see what it will and won't do. Because it's sending power to the front, it's a very different driving technique, not one that I've mastered. I think that probably came across in the video. I was trying to make this car move around in the same way that a rear-wheel drive would, and really have fun with it. And you can do that, but it's really quite tricky to make it move like that. If you drive it normally, you drive it smoothly, it's really safe, very progressive again. But I like a car to be a bit more active than that, and to make it move around without understeering quite badly, I found I was having to be really quite aggressive. And looking back at the replay, I found my steering inputs were way more aggressive than I would usually use. So that was really interesting. I hadn't noticed I was doing that, but I was using some really quite aggressive steering inputs with the brake to move the back end out and then bring in the power and drive it like a rear-wheel drive. I don't think the car particularly was designed with that in mind. This model, it does respond to it, but you need to have that technique down. I think somebody who is experienced in driving cars that power all four wheels, performance cars, I think they would not have a problem with that, and they would be flinging it around and making the car dance, because that's essentially what I like to do with the car. I like it to move around. This car is just designed to be monstrously fast in a straight line and very, very safe in the corners. In the wet, this car would be pretty immense, I reckon. A lot of other cars would struggle to keep up with it because of the amount of traction it's got. So I think it's summary, an incredible piece of kit. You can surprise a lot of what other people would think are, high performance cars for this thing. This is high performance, but you can put your dogs in the back, you can put your shopping in the back. You might not enjoy being thrown around too much, but yeah, I enjoy it. I would drive it again, definitely in the wet, and I think it'd be fun to hustle sports cars in this one. But tricky overall to get the absolute best out of it. If you want to make it dance, you've got to work at it. It requires a different technique, but recommended. I enjoyed it.